Hello dudes and dudesses, and welcome to this video about ULT-IMISS. Yes, ULT-IMISS. It's building on the IMISS that I've been building on in different variations for the last couple of weeks with my Discord community, but it's ultimate. You get it? ULT-IMISS. And here it is in all its glory. It has 4 storages, you can say. It has 1, 2, 3, 4 storages. It is 21 by 21 by 14. So it's quite a bit bigger than the IMISS 5 that I've had a video out on already that I did with my Discord community, and even the IMISS 6 that I'm going to do a video on very soon. The IMISS 6 I will do a block by block tutorial. For this one, not so much. It's not that it's that complicated. A lot of it, as you can see on this side, is item elevators, and they're done exactly the same. But it would be a tedious video placing all these blocks down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to demonstrate how the system works, which functions there is, what kind of improvements I've made. There's some pretty nifty ideas that I've had to try and figure out to make this work the way that I want my bulk storage system to function. And I will take you through the key elements, explain how they are supposed to work so you can troubleshoot them when you build them yourself, and then I will leave a world download in my Discord community as always, and then you can either take it from there or you can use Litematica, Schematica, whatever you prefer. This right now is a virgin system, and what I mean by that is there is nothing in it. It's empty, I think. Yeah, it's empty, and there's only one Minecart in here. If you have no idea what an infinite multi-item sorting system is, basically it works by putting things in stacked minecarts, so you can keep on expanding on the system. And this part right here is basically more or less the same as the IMISS system. It's a core of the IMISS system, but I have had to make it function quite a bit differently, and the reason is speed. Most of all speed, because IMISS, it's very simple, it has very many advantages, but when you start to want more advanced features, it's quite slow. I mean, it's slow when you have to take out items, and there's a limit to how fast I can make it, but this is double speed. It's double hopper speed all the way. That is the speed you have to relate to. So if you want to have things out of the item in a shulker box, it will take us 6.5 minutes to fill this up. It can't be any faster than that. Alright dudes and dudesses, let's take a look at the system. If you have absolutely no idea what I'm talking about, what this is, what's going on, I do recommend that you go and see the IMISS videos, how we developed this from a very small system with my Discord community, and I will be doing a video very soon on the IMISS 6 as well. But this is ULT-IMISS, as I said. And I have a lot of nice to have and not necessarily need to have in this system. This is designed to be a system in your base that works mostly in the background, sorting and storaging all the things that dribble in from the nearby farms. That at least is the idea, but it's also made so that it's easy and relatively fast to get things out again. Now, if you have no idea what's going on, this is a minecart with unstackable items like this. It works as a moving item filter, sort of. It does down there at least. And normally the items will come in from the farms, but you of course have the option to do it manually. And let's just try and put in 3 stacks of slime balls to show you what's going on. It goes into this drop elevator and it's silent, as you can hear. As you probably can't hear, and it goes down here, and when it reaches the full stack, it doesn't matter if it's a stack of 16 or 64, the minecart will be on its way. over here at this station, it's the empty out station. Very nice name. It will empty itself out. And of course the items right here will go to storage. These we filter out in a filter in the back and return to this chest right here. The hopper is empty now, and you can see it pulls out 5 and 5 returns. And you must say 5, why 5? Because we pull out 1 right here, so it's in the right order as well. And when it goes down, it drops 1 item when it passes this. And this is the item in the first room, and this goes down here, and this is our inventory. So we can see that now we have put 2 stacks of slime in the system. And it goes all the way via hoppers down here to this minecart, and you can see now there's actually 2 stacks in there, minus 1 for each stack. Soon we should see the 3rd stack dribbling in, and it comes right there. So this is how the system works basically, and it's very much like the original IMISS, except that we don't count things or anything like that. We just go by signal strength. Now that's just about the same. This is the you could call it the interface of the system, and there's been quite a few changes here. If we, for instance, is this an empty shulker box? It is. If I place a shulker box down and I put stuff in it like this, and what happens when I'm creative? What I pick it up, yep. And let me see this one. This is the one I need, and I probably will have to go in survival. I place it right there on this one, and you can see now, let's just get rid of this and go into survival, and this is empty. And when I destroy it, it goes down there. It's sucked into whatever this is, and it should be coming out right here. It was waiting for the system to empty out. Let's just try it with an empty shulker box so you can see how it works. And the reason I'm doing this in survival is that if you do it in creative, it just disappears. Now it should, it goes up here, and then you get it back like so. Back in creative, you know how that works. And what if we want the stuff out here? If we want to retrieve the stuff, we need to get the stuff from down here all the way to up here. And the way we do this, and I'm sorry for you, for those of you who really know this system already, let's just take 2. No, let's actually let's do like this, so it's 1 of each. These are the items you want, and what we actually do is we just queue them, or whatever keybind you have. So now we have asked the system to collect us 2 stacks, 1 stack of slime and 1 stack of iron. And let's see, you can see things working right there, and it comes in at double hopper speed. That's as fast as I was able to make it. So it doesn't really take that long to get a stack. I've invented filter down here. I will show you just a little bit later, so that before you try to take out the same item, it would mess up the directory, but it doesn't now. So you can actually, it's like you can mix and match whatever you want to have out, and of course you don't have to have it in a shulker box, you can have it in an output chest. Now the way I managed to make it double speed is this very, very interesting system down here. As you can see, there are 2 minecarts going, and this to be honest, it was close to making my nose bleed to get this to work, because of course we have down here, as you can see, we have a minecart buried in here, so it divides it into 2 hoppers, and that's why I have 2 that's why I have 2 hopper lines and 2 item elevators that's going at perfect hopper speed. But I wanted to optimize it even more, because if it was going back and forth getting stuff and then putting it out to the hoppers and then going back, I wanted to optimize it more, and I came up with this system that almost, as I said, made my nose bleed, because if we try again to do something like this, let's just let's just try this one. Then you can see this one starts and goes over and clicks it and go down. At that time, the other one has gone up there and are ready to actually go and take out some other stuff. And I had to invent quite a lot of different things to make this work. So if we look at this part of the system, as I said, down here, not much to it. In here you have a hopper minecart not standing on rails, so it's standing on both of these in the middle. And the way you do that, of course, is that you put something there. I put an iron bar and pushed it with a shulkerbox. I can show you in a second. And then it's in the middle of those 2, and it goes out into these 2 hopper lines. And I cannot really get down here. Let me show you. This one points that way, and this one points that way. So you have to imagine it's those 2 that takes it out, and this one goes into one hopper line, this one goes into another hopper line. And as I said, I opted for having 2 of these Tickman 80 modified item elevators, because you could actually do it with one. All you had to do was to change out this one with a comparator, and then it will go at double hopper speed. But I could not eliminate the clicking, and yeah, I just didn't want that, and the system was quite big anyhow. But that's why we have 2 hopper lines going into the system. Now these filters here, right here, when this minecart empties out down here, it also has non-stackable items in it, so you have to take them out as well. These are those filters, one for each hopper line, and it's been quite entertaining, let's put it like that, to invent stuff that works, because you cannot bring a filter like this. It's just a filter that sorts non-stackable items from stackable items very easily. But normally you would be able to bring the hopper somewhere else, but I can't bring it this way. I can't bring it this way, because then it would interfere with the lines. It will suck out from above. So the way I did it was I put it into another hopper down to a barrel, and then I could bring it out another way. So these filters, if you think they look strange, this is why, because you can actually emit signals. You can put signal strength through a barrel. That's what I wanted to say. So you can turn this torch on and off. So yeah, strange filter right there. One of the many little inventions I did for this system. Now, if we go back down here, there's a lot of things that needs to be balanced and checked, because first of all, how does this one start? You can see this hopper line here going up here. This is where we queue items. We just drop them down there, and they go over here and into that barrel, which means that we can essentially queue 27 items in there, and the system will just slowly but surely grind its way through it and give us the items that we requested. But the problem is you cannot just drop them down, because if you drop, for instance, 2 gunpowder down here, this system here would suck out 2 gunpowder, and it would go over here it would suck out 62 gunpowder, and it would empty out a stack. But then if we had taken 2 here, the directory wouldn't be correct anymore. So we need this minecart to take only 1 item for each stack. So there can only be 1 item in this, and this is why I made this small filter that actually makes sure that only 1 item drop down at a time. But you can have as many, you can request as many as you want of the same item as well. It will only trickle down here 1 at a time, and it will only go down here when it has been taken out. Hope that makes sense. So what we have here is when there's anything in this, when we requested anything, it turns on this line right here, which sends off the minecart. Now when the system is used, there's always a minecart standing down here. So this one goes over here and starts, identified by this. It takes 1 item, then it fills 4 spaces, so it cannot take more than, so it's a moving item filter, so it can only take 1 item, and it empties out from this up here, from the stack of minecarts, the infinite stack of minecarts. So when it's full, but at that time, while it's filling up, I basically have an item filter right here, even though you cannot see it, which deducts, that's why it's in detract mode, this. So the signal strength from this 4 full stacks and 1 that's 41, make sure that just before this one is opened, because this one is opened when there's 5 stacks, just before it's opened, this one down here goes off and into there. And if you don't know this trick, this is just soul sand, water sources, and these, what are they called? Scaffolding. These are just scaffolding put down, and with if we take this with a powered rail on top, and if there's more than 3 blocks underneath above the soul sand, it will push it up through the scaffolding and the rail line and put it right there. So that's how we get it to be there. When this is almost full, this one goes over and stands there. Now if we have multiple items in here, then this would be on and it would go immediately, but we cannot have that. It cannot go before this one is empty. So we actually also take a signal right here, which goes around here and here and into this. And even though there's a signal from there, it will be cut off if this one up here is still taking out items. Hope that makes sense. And we have the same problem down here. Even though this one is finished and this one is open, is ready to open, because there's signal strength of 5 stacks, it cannot go down if this one isn't ready and has emptied all out. So down here, from one of these, there's a perfectly 50-50 split between these two. So as long as there's stuff going through this one up here cannot open because it would drop down on this minecart. So we have a small torch tower up here locking this in place so that it doesn't go before this one is empty. And what are you doing with my redstone? Okay, that's how did you even do this? What the this? How did you manage to get through that? And why does this guy come in creative at all? How do I turn it off? Someone please help me. This was this part of the system. I hope that makes sense, and I think it's really cool to look at. So That's actually my favorite part. So even though we don't have that much in the system right now, let's just take one of these, and one of these. Now we emptied out the system totally, but let's just look at it again. So you can see this one fills, then this one goes over there and up and over and starts sucking at the same time as this is emptying out. That's how we get more, we save some time. So this goes up there, but this one is not finished sucking out, so it waits till this one is done, and then it goes, and this one doesn't go before this one is ready, because then it will go up there, and now it's standing being ready, and this one is emptying out from, and this goes down there. I can't remember, was that it? I think that was it. So now it's just ready to go again, and I think it's a neat little system. Now this system you probably know from the IMISS, if you've seen the IMISS, and you may wonder, what on earth is this? I mean, it's pretty obvious. Oh yeah, I didn't tell you about this. Because if you know a detector rail is used to detect, which means that you through a block or directly you can put a comparator there and measure the signal strength of the minecart. But if you power it, the minecart won't go. It cannot push it cannot start a minecart. So that is why I opted for this. I drop it down instead and have it go on another rail. So that was like one quirky thing to find out. And as you can see here, the comparator is there, and there's a redstone block there, which means it will only light up. It will only emit a signal when there's 5 there, when the signal strength is right there. Then it puts out this torch, and it retracts this piston right here. But when you retract this, and there's a minecart on it, that's a power, and it kind of, it's hard to see, but this one keeps being in a powered state. Yeah, it does. And to unpower it, you have to put something close to it. So this is why this weird thing is there. It just unpowers this one, so it's ready for the next time. It's a really weird butt powering ish type thing. Already now it's getting nerdy. I can hear this. I can see people pulling out their hair. Yeah. This system right here is the well, it's a storage, and right now there's only one minecart. So as this fills up from this hopper line right here, if it fills up so that there's nothing left, you cannot put any new items in there. It doesn't have to be full, but if it's a different item, if all slots here are taken, this one will register it, and what will happen is that it will send a signal up here. And that's another neat trick. Did you know that a slime block above, of course, you have to understand that this minecart is not standing on a rail, because otherwise this minecart down here couldn't suck anything through it. Then it would be more than a block. So it's standing directly on the block. But did you know that a slime above a rail can actually move a rail? And as this is a detector rail that powers up when a minecart is on it, it means that it will power this dispenser, and we will put in another minecart. Let's try it. You see, it pops up, and now there are 2 minecarts. You cannot see it, but if I do like this, you can see now there's only 1 minecart. So this system actually makes sure that we don't need to have a lot of minecart potentially making lag. So we're reducing the lag of minecarts to a minimum. It is only when it's needed there is put in another minecart. And just to follow up on that one, because this is going to be a nerdy video. Okay, people have already, turned on something else. But as this is quite important that you don't run out of minecarts, because then the system will clog up, I have just made this chest comparator. So when this chest is empty, which at that point there will still be 4 here and 4 here, it retracts. You are, let's say you're notified that it's about time to put in some more minecarts. Another thing that people in my Discord community wanted, and that I wanted as well, is that I don't mind that it takes 6 minutes and 50 seconds to fill up a shulker box, because I love the fact that I can, mix and match. I just decide I want 2 of those, two stacks of those, 1 stack of those, and whatever. I can pre-make my shulker box and then go away for 6 minutes and 50 seconds, and it's filled with the things that I want in the order that I want it, which is cool, I think. But it might be annoying if you just want 1 stack of gunpowder, or you always want to have like 5 stacks of gunpowder at hand because you use them to make rocket, or you just want to have like 1 or 2 stacks of iron ready without starting up the system. So I made a solution for that as well. And I put some items in the system, as you can see. So now there's 4 stacks of slime balls, 6 stacks of gunpowder, and 3 stacks of iron. Now I could take them out as I've shown you like this over here, but what if I want to have them at the ready? That's what these 2 chests are for. Well, actually these are just for holding the unstackable items, the wooden shovels. But in here, what you can do is you have to take out the items you want. I would like to have 3 stacks of no, let me just do this. I would like to always have 2 stacks of iron at the ready. So what you do is you take one of these and you do like this. You take one of these and do like this, and then you put these up here. Now, no, nothing is happening. It isn't magic. But what should happen is that when I put in these 3 stacks right here, and we wait, this system will do what it's always doing, putting this down and trying to put it in the system down here. But it's going through a filter behind this one. So, and if it detects that there's something here, this is like the old school sorting system where you actually needed to have something there, otherwise it would be filled. Basically the same, a bit simplified. So the system should now detect that there's something there and put a stack right there, as you can see. So however you want to have systems at the ready, you can make this. For instance, you can have a row of gunpowder because you use gunpowder a lot to make rockets, and you don't want to spend the time taking it out like this. And you can have 2 or 3 stacks of slime, just so you can always do some nice redstone work. Of course, I chose iron. Iron farms, iron, ring a bell. So this, I think, is a very, very neat addition to the system. It's not, it maybe not neat to have, but it's most certainly nice to have. And also one of the things that caused me a bit of a nosebleed to make work. And it's the same filter as takes out basically the unstackable items, but you have to put it at 2 ticks to make it work. And no, 1. It's already 1 tick. 2 ticks to make it work. And yeah, so that's a nicety as well. This probably concludes the tour of the system. Now, what I would like to say is that this, for instance, it's a very small dropper beta, but it's exactly the same as the bottom of it's exactly the same as the bottom of this one and the bottom of this one. These are all the same. Now you may wonder, why have I put on powered rail instead of redstone dust? And I'm not sure how much of a difference it makes, but it's supposed to make it less laggy when it's running. So if you don't have powered rails, I will argue that you could use redstone dust. Just light up the whole back of this, because you know when redstone is flashing, it does create some lag. I don't know how much it is. I mean, we are working with a system where we also have potentially a whole lot of hopper minecarts, and that will probably lag it out more. But I mean, that's just it if you think it looks funny. What else? Yeah, when you put in the first one, not that it's, but you actually put the rail over there, then you manually put down the first minecart, and then you flick this once, and then it's out here, and then you will have 2 minecarts from the get-go, because it will power this. If you don't want to have 2 from the get-go, which means that you cannot see it, because if there's 2 minecarts, it will always put half of it throughout the system. This is also why we don't just put in a lot of minecarts from the get-go, because if I put in like 20 minecarts and I put in a stack of gunpowder, it would take out 1 slot in every minecart and divide the stack into 20. So you only want this system to put in the minecarts as needed. This one down here, yeah, let me just show you how you do this. So you have these are the hoppers. These are those 2 hoppers right here. One in this case is facing that way, and one is facing that way. Did I do it the same here? No, of course I didn't. I did it facing each way. But these are these 2 hoppers here, and what you do is you have a block right there, and you have a block right here, and then you want to put in a hopper minecart like so, and then you put in, I use an iron, what's it called? Yeah, I use this one, and then you take out that one there, and you can push it over. You can push it over manually, but what you also can do is you can do like this. You can always do this with minecarts if you have it, and probably right now, if you want to build this system, you do have shulker boxes. So you take a shulker box, and what you do is you place it there, and it pushes it over, so it's perfectly aligned in the middle like this. Then you can take out this one, and then you put this one there, and then you just do like this, and this falls down. Put another one there, this falls down, and now anything that's here will be sucked out into these 2. This one will suck it out very, very fastly and divide it into these 2 hoppers right there. Down here I have a filter, but of course it's in the world download, but this is a different kind of filter. This it's actually precisely the same kind of filter, but this one needs to be on 3 ticks. 3 ticks. And what it does is everything that's put in the chest goes down here. Everything, you place the shulker box up there, it goes down here and also go into here. And shulker boxes will allow items to pass through them, so it goes over here, up and into the minecart. But shulker boxes won't allow shulker boxes to go into them, because that will be infinite storage in itself. So it gets stuck right here, and then when there's nothing more passing through, this one will actually let this one, the shulker box, pass through there and go over to this dropper, and then we just have the same system that we have over there, and this makes a noiseless signal and pushes it up through the floor. If you did not know, droppers can push things through the floor, and I think it's right there. It just shoots it up right there. Okay, I think that was it. Is there anything I'm missing that's complicated? This one over here, if we just this is of course a dropper as well, and you place your shulker box on it. Right now things come up here, but if you flick this lever, it basically turns off these 2 hoppers. So now things are going down here. Oh, I didn't want to do that. I wanted to do like this, because otherwise it won't work. Good thing I caught that. and it's putting the things here. So you can also put up things that are actually in the chest already, as you can see. So, and if you do this beforehand, it will just, you know, go through the chest and directly to this one. So that's it. And down here we have exactly the same system that we do have on the other drop elevators. You can see this one, or precisely the same one that we have over there. It's a small drop elevator of 2, but we do have this extra thing here, and it's because how this works, there will be one item stuck in there otherwise. So doing this, which sends extra 2 signals, will push out the last item, and we do want that. And by the way, I think the last item actually does give a click. Sorry, couldn't make that totally clickless. Alright, I will leave a world download for you guys, and you can schematic the bazooks out of this, and I will try to help you as good as I can if you have problems with it, either on Discord or on YouTube. But as you can imagine, it is pretty hard to troubleshoot when someone's just writes it doesn't work. I mean, doesn't work, doesn't give me a lot to work with. So I will say the by far most difficult part of this, because everything else, as you can see, I mean, of course you can make mistakes while building it. Everyone can make mistake. Everyone can make mistake. Everyone can make mistake, and I think you just made one. But the most likely mistake to make is in this area right here, because the hoppers, they just need, I mean, if you cross the hopper lines, chaos ensues. You can see if we go through them very fast, this one takes out, it fills with 5, takes out 1. It goes down here, over there, in there. Well, yeah, already. I mean, just flying around, it goes down here into this. But this filter here does the same. It takes out the non-stackable items, the shovels here, right here, down here, and then it pushes us over to this one and into this one. But if any of these cross, you will get mixed stuff. If the items that goes in the system right here goes over here, passes this filter, sorts out the shovels, and then goes on over here. Can I actually get through? Go on over here and goes into here, and this filter right here, which checks if there's anything in this chest that needs to be filled before it goes on here, back here, over there, down there, and drops like I just did down here into the minecart. So yeah, that's I would say that's the most likely thing to make mistake of, that is the hoppers. And if something is wrong, something is turning up where it's not supposed to turn up, I would say check and triple check the hoppers, because that is probably the most likely thing to go wrong. Alright guys, I really like this system. As in really like the system. I am so much gonna build it in my own forever world, but I understand if it seems a bit complicated, and I will very soon, I promise, do a video block by block tutorial, because it isn't bigger than that, and a world download for the IMISS 6 I think we're at, which is silent. Has the same function as this main primary function, but it's much easier to build and in a much smaller footprint. So That was all for now. Thank you for watching this geeky, nerdy, redstoney episode, and see you in the next one. Bye!